Time for our High School to the Max feature story, part 2 of our look at the Sam Houston football team. Part 1, which is on Fox San Antonio now, takes us through the tough circumstances the Hurricanes and their community have to overcome just to get on the field. Tonight, a look at what they've got to do as soon as they step off the field and the vital role their head coach plays. As one practice ends, another type of practice begins. From exercise to an exercise of necessity.
Hey, guys, use this jelly that was in the refrigerator first.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, a kid favorite, a snack, and for some of these young men, dinner.
A lot of kids that actually don't go home to a cooked meal. Maybe their family is not, fortunate enough.
When the sandwiches are put out, this is dinner. I better eat maybe 3 tonight or whatever, because this is going to be dinner.
Maybe.
That's accurate to say? It's a world foreign to so many, even some from the neighborhood, like head coach Gary Green, who graduated from Sam Houston before eventually starring in the NFL. Green's first opportunity as a head coach brought him back to his alma mater in 2007.
When I first got here, I had about 60 kids out there, the varsity kids, and I said, how many of you guys out here got fathers at home? Raise your hand. And 3 hands went up. And that's what kind of just floored me then, because I knew that there weren't a lot, but I thought there was some. And most of the kids that never knew their father, never knew him, or they know him and he's in the prison, or he died violently in one way or another.
It's a gap Gary Green works every day to bridge.
Come on back.
Tavion Jones takes sandwich cleanup duty on this particular evening, and while doing so, reflects on the coach, who's come to mean so much more.
He's a father I never had. I never had a father. Don't need him. So all I need is that man in there. He got my back, he has his back, he has his back, and he has his back.
And we got his back.
He's gonna stand up for and he's gonna stand up for us when we need him.
They're like my kids, and my kids don't go hungry.
They're also not allowed to give up on their dreams. As Tavion continues to clean up the mess, he shares more thoughts on the mess that surrounds his community.
We all want to go to college. Everybody wants to make it. Everybody want to make it, like, as far as getting out of the ghetto, getting good jobs.
For now, getting off campus will do. The peanut butter, jelly, and bread back in Coach's office, Green starts walking out the door, only to find not all of his players have eaten what might be their last meal of the day.
Peanut butter jelly.
Now see you out there, boy.
Getting in that extra work. You like that, Coach Green? Say Coach Green.
Boy, you better hurry.
I ain't got no food at home.
Hurry.
It'll be another 20 minutes before Gary Green starts heading home.
Yeah, down
The
there.
1 hour after that is when he'll actually get to his house. Would it be a good assumption that at one point or another, every single kid in the program, varsity, JV, freshman, has gotten a ride home from Coach Green?
I'll say pretty much almost everyone, if not close to everyone.
At least one time.
Yes, at least one time.
Some several times.
Yes,
and some a lot of times.
Yes, sir.
There are a group of kids that are right outside the door and they wait for me. And I take them home every day. There have been times, I've got a Yukon XL, I can carry up to 9 at one time. There have been several days where I made 2 trips because kids needed a ride, and I said, hey, look, I'll be right back, and half an hour back, I'll come back and take the last 4 home. I cannot go home knowing that a kid needs a ride. Just can't do it.
It's been that way since Green arrived. Just about every fall weeknight over the course of 7 years, hundreds of young men have been given a ride home, including Quincy Russell, a 2011 graduate and former U.S. Army All-American who spent last season and the first couple of games this year at Oklahoma.
If it was late at night, I didn't worry, because if he was here at the school, I knew he wasn't, they wasn't going to let him come home by himself. They were going to bring him home and make sure he was at home.
Important for even a football player who stands 6'4", 300 pounds. Because, as Clarice Russell, who works at Sam Houston, will tell you, sometimes there is no matching the size of the danger that lurks around the area.
I've seen some things. I knew that one of the boys that on his way home, they beat him up and killed him for his shoes right across the street from Sam Houston there, and it was like, oh my God.
Horrific, sad. It is a reality the Sam Houston football players have to avoid on both ends. Do you get the sense that if it wasn't for football and Coach Green, a lot of kids on your team might be down that road that leads to trouble?
A lot of kids would be, because in school they may get in trouble a little bit here and there with football, and without football they may be in jail.
Just the number of kids that do not have structure. You know, a lot of them have criminal records. You know, they've shoplifting or things like that, and sometimes just because they're hungry.
Seeing what I've seen, and I'm just only 16 years old, I don't want that life, because it's a lot of people that say, "Oh, I could have, I would have, I should have did that." I don't want to be those wanna, coulda, should have. I want to be the person that says, "I have done it."
Precisely why Gary Green remains a constant for a program, a school, a community
He always waits for me up in the front.
that faces so much uncertainty
Okay, hop
every
in.
day.
The hardest thing for me to decide is when to cut a kid off and when not to. Because as long as that kid is trying, I'm going to continue to try. But if we see that a kid is just not going to come around, that's the hardest thing for me to do, is to cut the kid out of athletics, because I know that that kid's chances of being something positive in life has just been cut off.
He don't know, but he makes our life a little easier at school. It makes us even more grateful that we have a coach and a father figure like him.
Every time I call him, he's there for me. So he's my ride to school. He's my coach. He's my father. He's everything everything I've ever wanted. So him being there for us, that's all we need right there. All we need is him, and that's it. He inspires us to be better.